I mean, the reaction to Mr. Miracle a lot of people have is it's a very personal thing, which is, it's good because that's, I was trying to write a very personal work. I was trying to do something, honest, I wanted to be ambitious, and the only way I know how to get ambitious is to sort of put more of myself in it. It seems to me sort of that's why you write, is to sort of not be alone. And people are reacting to it, saying, "Oh man, that's me too," I've gone through that, or I've had some of those experiences, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone. So it's great. It's a show that's about anxiety. It's about learning to sort of live with anxiety, and I think that the typical narrative that is like an ordinary people kind of thing, where you go and you find the one problem that hurts you, and you solve that problem, and then you ride off into the sunset. And I don't know, it doesn't feel true to me. It doesn't feel like what real life is. When you have sort of big problems in your life, you never find the actual solution. You learn to live with it, you learn to go on. You kind of have to, for your children, your family, and for yourself. But you never find that one cause. You never know what one thing it is that's sort of in you that caused you to have those problems. The ending specifically, it has an ambivalent ending where you sort of never find out. There's sort of two worlds in the book, and you never find out what the two worlds are. And it was always planned that way. I gotta imagine that David Chase does a lot of interviews, and they say, "Hey, so when they blacked out at the end of Sopranos, did they die?" Or I really want to ask him. I was like, what does he say every time they ask him that, just so I have this stock answer. But this is a book from a point of view, right? The creators of this book might know the answers, but Scott himself doesn't know. Just like that's how the real world works. So, yeah, I'll be saying that over and over again for hopefully the next 20 years. I don't know, maybe people will forget it next year and just want to talk about the Batman not wedding. I think the 9-panel grid is key to the success of the story. I mean, it serves a bunch of purposes at once. Number one, it has sort of this Wizard of Oz effect. Like in the Wizard of Oz, there's a black and white world and there's a color world. In Mr. Miracle, there's a world without panels. There's these splash pages that exist. And then when he enters sort of this second world, sort of the world of either his mind or the anti-life equation or another reality, that's when the panels drop, almost like bars on a cage. And he's sort of trapped in there, and he's an escape artist. So it serves that on one level. On another level, it's a great metaphor because it's these small boxes, it's claustrophobic, it's about a guy who's trapped, so that sort of subconsciously gets into the reader's mind. And probably on the most important level is this is a book that I wrote it for a comic book audience because I love a comic book audience, but I also wanted, if you've never read a comic book, you could read it. And a 9-panel grid is the most natural way to read a comic book. It's just 3 Charlie Brown strips on top of each other. Jack Kirby is at the heart of this book. It works because it sort of steals from the magic of Kirby. I mean, every issue begins with this narration that is taken from the issue of Mr. Miracle that Kirby wrote. So it begins with Kirby's words and ends with Kirby's words. But from the beginning, the challenge of Kirby is that nobody can copy him. Nobody can paint like Raphael, nobody can write like F. Scott Fitzgerald, nobody can do comics like Jack Kirby. Instead of competing with Kirby or trying to outdo the king of comics, we're going to complement him and kind of go along with him on this journey.